afternoon. Welcome to Awaken Nomada. I am in London today with Felix, a great guest. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you.
We are going to explore arts on his terms. Let's see what he has to say.
Life is art, and we are all artists. Enjoy yourself and paint your canvas.
Oh my God, that is really beautiful. Yes,
Okay.
that makes total sense. Like, do you think you are painting your own canvas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You live it, okay? You're living your artist life. That is amazing. I've heard, as I was telling you before, I heard about you for the first time because of a friend of mine. She showed me your Instagram page and talked to me about your spiritual work, but I didn't know you were an artist at all. And I was browsing and just stalking you a bit on the art,
Okay.
and I
thank you.
find this very unique, and it has a meaning that I cannot explain. So this is why we are here today, for you to tell us what these pieces of art mean, how do you got here, and yeah. So can we start with the first question?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
So you said in your website that you have an artist family and you grew up with their influence. Can you tell me how this shaped your journey as an artist?
Yeah. Sure. So, my mum's parents were both artists, art teachers, and their house, which we're in now, well, we're in the
It's a proper piece of art.
yeah, in the shed of the garden. We're living with my grandma right now. It's very full of art, and yeah, they are big art lovers. So from when I was a child, I used to come and visit them and stay here. And my granddad was always showing me how to draw, how to paint, how to make pottery, and how to look at the world in an artistic way. And my grandma as well, how to draw, how to observe, drawing from observation, drawing the world, drawing people, drawing life.
Okay.
So yeah, that was a big big part of my growing up was like spending time with them and getting shown how to draw and how to, like I say, how to look and how to think artistically as well. Yeah, I know my dad's side as well. He has his own creative expression, like different ways. But yeah, I had a lot of artistic guidance from very young, really. Yeah.
Have you ever thought or think about not being an artist or going through a different path? Ever cross your mind this?
I mean, it's never been like I won't be an artist. I mean, there's been times along the journey where I've like invested more into things that weren't painting and drawing. But like as we were kind of talking like a moment before we began, even the things now that aren't like necessarily like fine art, like the health, well-being, spirituality, the healing. For me, I see that as art as well.
Yeah, I
So,
agree with you.
Yeah, I have invested a lot of time into learning how to instruct and lead and guide ceremonies and like this kind of stuff. But for me, it's a form of art. So yeah, it's all been full on that, like since I was really young.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's amazing because I think art, in whatever form, like it drive us to this spiritual path. That happened to me, and I think that I found spirituality and art in pain, and I walk through that path, and then I come out with ideas, thoughts, and things that I wasn't expecting. My question is because I don't think everyone see life as an art expression, which it is in itself, but we kind of segregate everything. Like well, you are an artist, or you are a doctor, or you are a X or Y, whatever. And I have the feeling, or I experience it as everything being one thing. The art of healing, just like you mentioned, there are different ways. You can do it through traditional medicine, or you can do it to conventional, or to like regular science as we do. That's art as well, but we segregate those things, and I think like the magic of artists is to merge those things together. I think I find that in your paintings, that you have like the spirituality with whatever you learn, and probably this is a lot part of your growing up and everything. Okay, let me go with the second question.
Okay.
You studied at Chelsea College of Art and Slade in London. Okay, how this shape or contribute to your expression?
Yeah, so when I went to art school for the first time, I went to Chelsea. That was the first place I went. Like straight after finishing the school, you know, like college, and for me it was such a liberating, inspiring environment, and like a big relief and a big release, because I went to a very like conservative, old school, all boys school.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had a whole, you know, like from the whole way through. To
That's
like,
totally the opposite.
Yeah. And then to go into this environment with loads of artistic people and just a really creative environment was such a super exciting for me.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just had time and space to create, and had support from the community and the guidance from the tutors, and like put a lot of energy into it.
Okay.
I also learned a lot from not being in it as well. So the way that what happened to me was that when I was in it the first year, it's like a 1-year course, like a foundation course they call it.
Yeah.
And then on that course, a lot of people apply to do a degree.
Yeah.
I literally was just so just not organised into thinking about like university applications. I was so kind of just partying and enjoying and having fun and all this
Being
stuff.
young.
Yeah, and also very didn't really understand how it all worked, and very confident, but actually kind of naive to this process. So when it came to the applying to the uni, like I put my application together like the day before or something, and I was like, oh yeah, this will be fine. Like I really didn't put much attention into it at all.
Okay.
And I didn't get in. I got rejected from the college that I applied to.
Applied, okay.
And straight away it like lit me up, because I was like, oh rah, okay, wow, okay.
I have to make an effort.
Yeah. Like this thing that I really love, but I've been focusing on, you know, hanging out, talking to the people, making friends and stuff, and really like it's something switched to me. And then after that, I went in and made like more. I had like, you know, a third of a year left or something, and I made more work in that particular time.
Wow.
Than I had done the whole time before. And then when my friends kind of went on to do the degrees, because they'd been organised and they'd got themselves into places, and I had like a year, or you know, not being
Gap
in
year.
like whatever, like kind of, okay, what am I going to do? I went and got jobs working on building sites, doing like manual labour, like demolition and
no way.
picking up cement bags all day, and working on construction sites with all builders and stuff.
Wow.
And then also like hanging out with my art friends. But I learned a lot about like hard work.
I bet you did.
And like real life, and like Monday to Friday, and get up and be there and and I had an amazing job where I was working like a team of 100 guys and load of people from different parts of Europe, and you know, like a whole mix. And we go to this big estate with a whole council estate. It was like a renovation of all the council estates. So I was going into all the different flats, like one by one, like renovating the kitchens and the bathrooms. So I'd go in with like a sledgehammer, be the first guy, and be like, "Hi, I'm here to smash up your kitchen." And then the other guy, then I'd bring in the kitchens, and then everyone.
Wow.
Anyway, it was like I thought I was going to be going to like art school and doing more of this, and then the universe put me in here, but it was really close to. It was a close location to where the art school was. So I had this kind of like double life where I was like being like a builder, like sitting in the calf with like all these lads, like or like Albanian, like 20 Albanian guys. I used to work with a team of like all the demolition guys. So, and then like sometime at lunchtime, go hang out with my art school friends, like in the arts, and then, yeah, kind of like do that. So, yeah, I did that for a while, and learned a lot by being outside of it. Yeah, and it took me a few times to like reapply before I got into the Slade. But I also was working, and then I also had another one like working as a painter decorator, doing offices.
Okay.
Like whilst I was making work to apply to get into the Slade, I had another one where it was like this big block of offices in London Bridge.
Okay.
And every level had these long, super long walls, like bright colours, different colours.
Okay.
And me and this other guy, like every weekend, I would draw a line like this, like 100 meters, like hundreds of meters of just like, you know, like where the ceiling hits here, have a bright colour here on the wall and a white ceiling, and my job to make it really clear.
Precise.
Yeah.
Like.
And then some old grumpy guy being like, "Have you finished yet?" You know, like there's like you know, like the job has to like move. We have to like the shift fast. So I actually learned a lot about paint and painting.
Okay.
On a building site, not at art school, but like dealing with like, man, we would do like 25 litres of paint.
Yeah.
Like bright, like beautiful colours as well, massive one, and then this massive wall, and you have to.
You still had paint on your hands.
paint, like so much paint. We like move so much paint, and also like skill to get this line. So like, as I was doing it, I was like, wow, this is amazing. You know, I wanted art school, and now I'm learning about painting, but from this 50-year-old Polish guy who's actually like a secret guru genius. You know, like a guru but not a guru, like a secret, like, you know, like just.
He knows precisely everything, but.
Yeah, very spiritual, but like not.
Wow.
Just from. You know, just in the eyes.
Okay.
You know, when it's not like, this.
You just look at him and you know.
He has his wife. He loves his wife. He loves his children. He's in London. He's working. He's making money. And boom, 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 boom. Meditation. You know, prayer in action. Just, and then we speak. So we have, you know, when you work like on a job like this with someone, with like two people on a painting job, you have a lot of hours to talk.
I imagine.
You have a lot of hours. So, you know.
How many great conversations must come out of like a proper podcast.
Yeah, but and also silent. And also just through silent, you know?
Didn't you feel uncomfortable?
No, like this the difference when it's like, that's why I say secret group, because when it's comfortable, and you just learn through just moving, because you're moving, sweeping, cleaning, washing, painting. Anyway, that's it. That was kind of like midpoint, but whilst most of my other friends they still did their normal art school, I was then super glad that I didn't get in.
So you actually, that break
for me was so good. And then when I finally got back into the Slade, then it was like heaven.
Of course.
Yeah.
You had like a different perspective as well on life.
Yeah, I had like 3 years older, and also like fire to go. Because previously I've been like working and like building site, like a lot of blokes who just have, you know, who were not interested in this kind of thing that I was super interested in, and then all of a sudden I'm in this like temple for it, where everyone's like fully focused on it. But I kind of also I did it differently. Like the Slade is like a 4-year course, and after 2 years, like I got my like inner graduation of what I went there for, because I was going with like in purpose, like intention to find out. Like you asked me, like, what is this all about? I the same. Well, I as well was like, what is this all about? Like, I'm doing all this, like, it's pouring out of me. Like, I have like a. You
wanted to give it a meaning, like what?
Yeah, it's maybe not even that I wanted to. Just more like there's an aspect of curiosity. Like there was a passion to do it, and like a deep pleasure in creating it. Like I enjoy it the most. Like I'm almost like really. I make it for myself to look at, and I like that other people enjoy it. But it's like comes from a deep place. Like I want. There's something inside me that like wants to create something that looks like this, and then I create it, and then I can get to look at it, and then I enjoy looking at it.
Does it look exactly like you picture it in your head, or it changes somehow during the process?
Yeah, I don't really. It's not so much like that I picture it in my head before, like or some conscious part of me pictures it. It's more just like there's a feeling of like I wanna make another one. I wanna make more of the thing that comes out when I make.
Okay, interesting.
So that was kind of what I went there with the, like that seed of like wanting to like learn of what is it I'm doing. And then when I was on the course, that's when like during those couple of years I had my explorations into other stuff and the spiritual awakening as well, that led me to like realization points of understanding what it is, where it's coming from. This
so the question I sent you, there is one.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is kind of lead to another subject.
Yeah. Because you talk about some quantum shift.
Yeah.
I want to know more about that. Like, how was the experience, and what it changed within and out?
Yeah. So like a few like powerful points. Like the first one when I was 20 years old, and like this summer I just began having experience with mushrooms, psilocybin, magic mushrooms, and then this opened up my vision, and been having experiences like building over some time, and then this one day, boom, like it just totally shifted, like I say, like a quantum shift of perspective, where I look at the sun and the sun, I realize the sun is looking at me. And I go from the first time of like thinking like this is kind of not all there is, but like this is me. This is kind of about as far as I'd thought beyond up to that point.
Okay.
You know, I've been open-minded about God and the nature and higher powers. I've been open-minded, but I've been like, yeah, I'm sure, like, yeah.
Yeah, but that is in a more mental kind of way. Then now it's a feeling, proper feeling.
It's really nice, yeah, exactly. There was a mental like conception of it, and then it was like literally like this, like for a whole day, like just like walking through, like, oh my God, like this is God. Oh my God, God.
Oh my God.
Okay,
you
God.
are.
Okay.
I feel you.
Yeah. And then look, and this area, the grass, the trees, everything, and I see the people. As in a Glastonbury festival, when I see everyone,
the energies and everything.
Yeah, like so much more than I'd ever seen before. And then in this day, I think this is me forever. Like I'm gonna be like this now. Like I am enlightened.
Wow.
I am like Buddha
but
now.
But after experiencing that, it changes everything.
Yeah.
Because you don't never look at the world the same way.
Yeah.
First of all, we have been taught that nature is something a part of us. Like it's not part of who we are as humans. But then when you have those kind of experiences, it's like, man, this is where I belong.
Yeah.
I remember in my first experience, I was like that. I didn't want to get my hands out the grass, and I was like, "You're so beautiful." And I'm feeling it, and the love that comes from there is just like endless. And I was really sad when the moment was finishing, because I was like, "Why I cannot experience this forever?" And God just said, "Like, you can. It's up to you." And I'm like, "Really?" It's funny because it's there. The grass is there, the tree is there, the sun is there, but you never look at it as it is. It's like, it's definitely, I feel you and I understand you really well.
Yeah, we're in it now. We're in it now. Like right now, we're in it right now.
Yeah.
Like, for me, the next day, you're gonna kind of like wake up again, and then I realized thoughts and you know, feelings
you came back to this.
Okay, so I felt like, okay, now I'm like, it felt like the day had been like being on top of a mountain, at the peak and like look around 360, like nothing in the way. Full vision, all directions. I could see everything in all directions. And then it was like, okay, now I'm in the valley, so I can see still, but there's some mountains, like there's things like in the way of the full vision. And then they're kind of like, how do I stay? I want to feel like this the whole time. And then I realized, okay, so if it's with this, they take you up, and then you come down.
You have to bring a bit of that to here.
Yeah.
And be aware, but that requires presence.
Yeah.
And we are not as present. Like I just sometimes like I have a garden for the first time living here in London. I have a garden and it's bushy now because I haven't taken care of it. I just moved. But I look at it through my kitchen window and I feel this calling me. Just come and sit here. Just come and spend time with me. Like,
Nice.
that sounds silly, but it is. I am there and I'm like, it feels so good. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't have to take anything. I just bring that with me from wherever I was, which make me experience what the reality is. Because we say like this feels really real, but this is heavy. This is like sometimes tiring even. But when you go there, you're so light. Everything makes sense. Even the most painful experience that you have had makes sense. And it's like, okay, this is what I came for. And it's like, okay, then I can be in peace with whatever experience happening here. It's a beautiful experience.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love this. So you mentioned in your statement that you had some third eye opening experience. Obviously that has to be with just our previous conversation, but can you deep a little bit more in that, and if that has changed the art and the expression that you have as well?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this was like a second stage. Some years later, because after the first awakening, like I set my intention more to ways to experience that experience, but just through like presence and through practice, through discipline. So then I began to look at meditation and yoga and like these different pathways to enlightenment, but through effort and willpower and discipline rather than taking power plants. So I did a few years like that, like much more like lucid. And then in like 2009, the ayahuasca came, you know, around, and I had opportunities to go to those to the ceremonies. And when I went to the first one, that was the first time I'd had the experience inside, like with my eyes closed. So with my eyes closed, and then after having taken the medicine, after a while, I began to see the like little flashes and patterns. And as soon as I saw the very first glimpse, I just instantly realized, this is what I've been painting. It's this is what I've been painting the whole time. I recognized it straight away. And then as that grew and developed more and more, that's where my insight was that what I've been doing my whole life, like without knowing where it was coming from, is it's like painting and drawing like this other world that I can, some part of my mind can see or feel or sense unconsciously, that pours out of me when I draw. So that's why I enjoy the drawing so much, because I'm literally drawing out this thing that my conscious mind can't like see with my eyes closed. But then when I had this experience with the ayahuasca, my eyes were closed and I was seeing it inside for the first time. So that was like my first, real clear third eye opening experiences through that. And then that's where I got my answer with the art school, that I decided to like complete my degree.
Your degree.
Like at that
Okay,
point.
this makes sense now.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's basically like, I said to you, like, because the way they were going and talking and compared to like how amazing and exciting I found the world of ceremonies and the idea of go to the Amazon and go traveling and exploring there, I just said, thanks guys, I'm good, I'm going. I complete, thank you. And then I went to to travel Peru and Brazil and go deeper to the forest and to the ceremonies there.
And that must be a different experience than doing the one you did here. Did you do the first one here?
Yeah, but yes and no. I mean, like,
Yes.
it's not as that it's better in some way. Like, I've had better ones here and better ones there.
Depends where.
And
Okay.
like, yeah, like it really there's something amazing about being out there, like in South America, because they have the very different, like the whole culture around it is a lot more comfortable with it. Like in Peru, and they have it in the market, and like just the normal, you know.
It's part of their life.
It's like it's more understood on a much deeper level. So there's something that's like different, and same with Brazil. You know, like there's much less fear around it.
Mm-hmm.
That's very clear, actually. Yeah.
I think that here I was having this conversation with a friend of mine about how in the Western world, US, Europe, we are brought up really uprooted, and we don't understand what real connection means. Like, I come from Colombia, and I feel the land calling me back, but I haven't been yet, and it's like I'm waiting because I know the moment will come. But I know that whatever I have experienced out the land in terms of spirituality, connection with nature and God, is gonna be different to what I am going to experience, because I have the feeling that I got taken away. Like, you know, when you plant, you take the plant like that and put it somewhere else, it will never grow and understand what happened in there. And I think like I have una deuda, a debt, and going back, understanding, reconnecting. And I had one of my first experiences was in Mexico. Mexico is not too far away, and Colombia and Mexico are really similar, apparently. And it's definitely something above what I can say with words that I experienced there. It's like you feel the life of the land. Here, I don't know if it's because concrete or because busyness or because whatever, but I got to experience as well in one of my trips the energy, the London energy, this city and its energy, and I just felt like it pressed me down. It was really heavy and I couldn't hold it. And I was complaining about it, like, why it has to be like that, and what am I doing in that place that I don't belong? But that's wrong. I belong here, and I'm here for a reason as well. Like, I was just complaining in my mind, right? Yeah. When I was in in Mexico, having this experience, I was facing the sea, and I just look at it, and I was crying literally, like I'm home. But I live here, so it's weird because I was there passing by, but it felt like, okay, this is home, this is where you belong. How do I get there to be there for longer rather than being here? So is this conflict of how I grew up here, how I got educated, and what I experienced there, and what is waiting for me there.
So where were you born, and where did you go?
I was born in Colombia, but then I grew up in Spain. And I came here, but I am learning about what you are telling me through these conversations, experiencing medicine with people that is here. They come from there, or they learn, and I'm like, sometimes I have to be honest, I feel like you are taking my culture and appropriating and saying that it's yours, but doesn't belong to anyone. It's for everyone, right?
Yeah.
But it's because that ego part of me that says you didn't learn that. Like, you didn't grow up in that environment, which I don't know, like, there is a conflict anyways. So I see how much wisdom have brought this medicine and everything here to people like you, like, and I'm like, what is in there? But it's still this fear of going back and experience it as well, because I think it's really deep and it's really dark and really lightening at the same time, and it's like, what do I do with that? So I know what do you mean about it's no different here and there, because when you are in that stage, there is no space, there is no time, there is nothing.
That's the interesting thing, where it doesn't really matter where you are. Once you can really connect and go beyond, then you can be there.
Have you mastered discipline by practicing? Because it's my challenge.
By practice, by what?
Practicing, like having your yoga, meditation, all of that. Have you mastered discipline somehow?
Say no. To be honest, yeah.
It's a difficult one, right?
Yeah.
Or like I battle with it every day as well. So I see your practice, I see your work and everything, like that you're trying to help people to get there as well, and I get you learning as you do. So I just wonder, how do you live your daily life trying to get to master discipline?
Yeah, good question. It's like this, like powerful word for me is discernment, like to understand like what's appropriate at what time. Yeah, when to apply. I mean, maybe if I'm gonna answer, I feel like I'm gonna be saying, like, I'm saying what I'm like what I'm doing right now. And then this maybe not not for everybody, but what I'm doing right now is this is when I get like in a good rhythm.
Okay.
I set myself up a schedule.
Okay.
And then I just know, and then I repeat it like again and again and again. So now I set my like schedule now. I teach at 6 in the morning, for like 45 minutes in the park in Brockwell Park in Brixton. And that for me is like anchor point.
Okay.
Where I know that like in the morning I wake up at that time, I need to leave the house at that time, I arrive there at that time, and I'm gonna do that. And then I've done that, and I basically made myself like a sequence of rituals that I'm gonna go through them. Dum 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 dum. It's like my great ideal start to a day. So for me, this is something that's like really helped me. Is the repetition of like a very similar sequence. And then, like, I've had this before when I can have, like, something set up, a structure, or like a point where I teach, a place and a time where I get myself to, and do this, do a session, do something.
For you and for others.
Yeah, and also even like before when it was like a job or something, I know I get to that point at that time. So for me personally, like, what part of my mind finds like a lot of freedom in having that like structure, because then I just know, okay, boom, I wake up, I know what I'm doing, I go there, and then after I've done that, I go to the gym. After I've done that, I go for a swim. After I've done that, dun, and then I meet my wife there, and then dum, like it's like
your structure is based on things that you want and like to do.
Yeah, especially
because it confused me, because it's curious. You said I find freedom on that, of having this structure and this doing the same thing, having a schedule.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really
interesting. Because then it's like I focus the discipline on organizing myself to do this like same thing, because I know it's like you say, like master. I say no because I wouldn't say I've mastered it. I know how I've improved so much, like compared to how, a younger version of me, like where I am now, I'm like very, very much improved. I've learned a lot, but the master is like, whoa, okay.
That's a big word. Yeah.
It's a big word, but it's like, okay, the way I approach that, like the mastery, is through this like repetition and refinement. So for me, as I say, me personally, I'm setting myself up this. For like the week, like Monday to Friday, I have this like routine regimen, and I just gonna set my intention to stick to that, and then like refine it to get like better and better at it. So I don't know if it's in this film Groundhog Day. Do you ever hear this one? No. Okay, so it's like this film where he repeats the same day again and again, and exactly the same day. He wakes up. It's like the same day in the morning. He's kind of trapped in this it's a film, whatever, mythical reality where he wakes up, it's exactly the same day, and he's the only person who knows. Everybody he meets is in exactly the same place and exactly the same time and says the same stuff, but he gets to like repeat it again and again and again, and each day he's kind of like learning something more,
and improving something in whatever he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. And then ultimately at the end of the film, he has like the perfect day where he turns up at exactly the right time, exactly the right place, and
Oh, wait, I need the name of that again.
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day. I will
It's a
have to
really-
remember that.
It's a really funny one. It's an old one, but I like to be in that kind of cycle
Okay.
where I just repeat the same stuff. That's worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm good when I can just get in a routine and a rhythm, and then so then the discipline comes in. Like it actually like starts like to even start like now. Like so see tomorrow morning. I'm gonna start like the master is like I'm preparing some way for tomorrow now, because the earlier I get like the stuff finished that I need to get done by the end of today. There's certain things that I need to get done by the end of today. So the earlier I finish those, the earlier I can like shut down, like close off from that kind of stuff, go into chill out, go into relax, and relax into the evening.
So it's like a compensation for yourself to finish the tasks that you know
Yeah,
are good for you as well, because you're not doing anything that's harming you.
exactly. Because then you get everything finished earlier, and then I can get to sleep earlier. And the earlier I get to sleep, the deeper I sleep. When I wake up, the fresher I feel when I wake up.
Yeah.
Because it's like if I do this every day, I'm wake up at 5, and it's a lot easier to wake up at 5 and feel good if you have 8 hours sleep, as opposed to if you go to bed at midnight, because I'm still doing something I need to do, you know. So that's where the mastery comes in, because I'm still doing. Sometimes I'm doing things late and replying to some email message or doing some admin stuff like late because I need to get it done by the end of the day. But it means I sacrifice a bit of that sleep, and then when I wake up, it's like, okay, that's not like the
That's
perfect.
not what. Yeah.
So but I know. Okay, next time tomorrow, let me like get this done, and then and then 6 o'clock,
Wow.
everything finished.
That is an actual good shout, I have to say, because you structure your day so that you can finish all the tasks and you have enough rest or charge yourself. That's power.
Yeah.
You put the power while you sleep or you eat
Yeah.
to be able to achieve all of that, but you check, okay, what did I do the day before that didn't work? Can I improve it the day after? That's really interesting.
Ideally, yeah.
Wow, okay, good. That's a good point. I think like we all have different ways to get disciplined, but I think that the repetition of the action and the improvement of the action is what makes it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you improve.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were in Barbados.
Yeah.
And you come back to London.
Mm.
What are your aspirations for the future art, or your art, and your mission to spread happiness, which that is a big thing. Like I know the work you do, like spiritual work, is to improve people's lives, but that is like a huge responsibility as well. So what are your plans to keep going with that and to keep helping people?
Yeah. I wrote this one. Did you see this one I wrote? Happeningness. Happeningness. You know this other word?
No.
Happeningness.
No.
It's like a made up word. I think I heard someone else say it, but then I start using it myself as well.
Is that a made up? Okay.
Yeah, it's like a made up word. So you know happening and happy.
Yeah.
They sound the same. They're kind of similar, but happening is like what's happening, right? What is happening? And so I had this idea. That's why I put it there. It's a little bit like a play on words.
It's fine. Yeah, like.
Because it's
explain deeper on that.
Yeah, because it's in some way it's not to say like happy, like to spread happiness, but this other idea. I mean, I kind of put it pretty casually there, or like more just like a spontaneous thought, like spread happeningness, where basically the idea would be like whatever's happening, like be in whatever. Feel what's happening. That can be like happeningness.
Happeningness.
It's like I made up the word.
Yeah,
so
to be present and happy with whatever.
Yeah, like to be aware of what's happening.
And be happy with it.
I mean, it doesn't really even like in a way like it, for me, yeah, like it's like be happy. Like that's also a big part of it. Okay. That particular one is more saying. Like just feel what's happening. Okay. Feel what's happening.
feel what's happening.
Yeah, like be with what, like be aware of like what's happening. And I think it's kind of a conscious one of not to say, I'm not saying be happy with that in that in that
no,
particular.
it's more being present,
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
like
thing.
spread happeningness. It's yeah, I get a thing and I probably tune into it more. I think I wrote that a while ago and I haven't really thought about it since. I haven't used that one for a while, but I have also said, spoken about happiness a lot of the time as well. And my name actually means happy in Latin.
Felix?
Feliz. You know, felicidad. Like this is like
see.
the root is Latin.
Yeah, okay.
It means happy. So like in my star, like my birth incarnation, I was given this name of happy, lucky, like this means Felix. So.
And well, that's really meaningful.
It's
but
really,
the meaning of your name first of all, because we are named. We don't choose that name.
Yeah, I was
apparently.
Named. Yeah, I was named this name. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, for me, I guess as well comes from like how to spread happiness. So for me, I got a way lot happier when I sorted my posture out a lot and began like learning the spiritual arts, how to stretch, how to breathe, how to move. Because I started with a lot of back pain. That's what led me into yoga and osteopathy and healing and yoga. Because then I began to clear out this big tension that I'd had in my lower back, like teenage tension, and I grew really late, really fast, really late. And so I was like, my posture, and then had this 6'5" body, and
you didn't know how to
I
manage.
don't know what was going on, and then I started trying to lift the work on the building site, and anyway, I have all this like crazy back pain, and that's not very, very happy.
No.
And then I found this, and it was like, happiness. I'm in bliss now, like the energy, I could move the energy, and I felt really blissful.
Okay.
And then I felt really happy. And then like that, I was, many days where, like the same way with the discipline, I just knew at that time when I first started, I had like a CD with a guided audio by one teacher. I just knew that if I put that on and for an hour and a half, just listened to his voice and did the things that he was saying, an hour and a half later, I'd have this like orgasmic, blissful feeling in my body again, as opposed to pain and tension and like bad feeling. So it was like that was the discipline. It was like, okay, each day I get to wake up and choose, put the CD in and press play,
okay.
and do this thing, because even it was hard, like it's it's like super difficult. He's like, do this and move the right and the left and the upside down, and there's like you can feel it like twisting and squeezing and all this kind of working on these tight areas, but afterwards like
release.
Yeah, and I guess that's what inspired the beginning of the journey, because it's like I could see or feel it in people, like in their eyes, in their face. You have a conversation, how you doing? Am I there? And I'd be like
do you want the CD?
I kind of like would be like, just try. Look, I do need it,
yes, of course.
Do try this.
It's amazing, because the moment you find something that makes you happy, you have this ego of, I need to share this. How many people need it?
I had a lot of this at the beginning, and I learned like the art of like how to like successfully help someone to like step to it and embrace it and get the benefit from it is an art. Because I guess I had to learn a lot of times just by going do it like to my mom, my sister, my dad, like and they're like, ooh, no,
like, oh, you crazy.
Stuff
Let me alone.
It's like that's the kind of the mastery of just being like, look,
sneaky. In a good way.
In a good, I think I mean this was more like a river,
okay,
like flowing, like I'm in this river, I feel really good. So like just be in the river, feel really good, and if people are like looking in and they're like, what have
you done?
I'm like,
come on, flow with me.
You want to like really easy, make it really easy for them to come in, rather than trying to like
push it on
push them in or something.
It's interesting because it's like you know the benefits because you've tried yourself, right? And then you want to explain them to people. They need it because you can see on their bones and skin and everything. They need it, but it's not either up to you because it's a personal choice.
Yeah.
And I think the best way to introduce people to that is by doing it yourself, and they will see because people ask and it's like what is it? And they are curious about how your life changed, how you from being this grumpy person or no sometimes and then you become this happy and that's my experience. Like I used to be very upset when I was a teenager, really upset. And then people know like, what you do to be so happy? I'm like, come here, I tell you.
That's it, yeah.
And that's the but it's a communication as well.
It's,
so you master, that's an art as well.
That's an art, yeah, definitely, communication. I asked myself, okay, how can I serve, like, how can I optimize this thing that I love to do? Before I had like, a lot of limitations of location and time. And then with like the expansion of the internet and Zoom and recorded YouTube and stuff like this, where it's you can spread it out to way more people than whoever can get to West Norwood at 6:30 in the morning on a Tuesday morning, like in that room, like because I did lots and lots of that for many years, like teaching in person, nothing recorded, just again and again in person with a group, with a small group or whatever.
In the area.
Yeah, in the area, local stuff, right?
Okay.
And then it got to the point where, okay, boom, 2020, and everyone online, and it was like, right, how can I create something that serves loads of people, and that can be spread like a quantum shift, like ultimately infinitely, and that's what I've been working on. Did you ask me what does he say when I come back from Barbados? Did you say something about Barbados?
Yeah, like it was.
As I return, that's been the mission.
Okay. UAMSA, Urban Avatar Mixed Spiritual Art. Can you tell us about that?
Sure,
please?
Yeah. So, mixed spiritual arts is a phrase that came through for me about 10 years ago. After I was moving around different traditions, so I have a yoga, and then also start learning martial arts, mixed martial arts, and then make a big pivot into my study into going into martial arts and spend a lot more time in those places, and then also for me change my lifestyle a lot over the years. So I have aspects like what is yoga, like the real roots of what yoga is. This is getting open up another conversation, but it's to do with the lifestyle and diet and non-violent lifestyle and vegetarianism and veganism, which for a lot of years I was looking to and following and being part of. And my life journey turns around and goes ups and downs and different turns. And I for 14 years have that as an aspiration to be vegetarian, vegan, with many phases of 2-3 years, and then something, and it's there, and I accept the situation, and I eat, and I feel I feel something better, I feel stronger, and then I know I'm gonna go back here again, go back into it again, and follow again, and have tuning into yoga, this tradition, that's what I'm looking to. And then through repetition and through messages and symbols from the universe, I just get to a point where I decide that I'm not gonna make that my decision anymore. To try and be that. So I make a acceptance of
whatever
meat.
comes.
Yeah,
well.
that I will eat meat. That I eat meat. So I have that. Okay. And that's like a life decision I make. And out of respect for yoga, I decided to stop saying what I do is yoga. To stop calling what I do yoga.
Okay.
Because when I was really like doing yoga
Uh-huh.
and like really tune into the tradition, I really feel like a big part of that is that element of being like not doing that, right? not eating meat, right? And whether
So yoga is not that just the practice of stretching. This is what you mean.
way more than that, yeah. And whether it is like ultimately that or not, there's a lot of people like in the world of it who really care a lot about that as like one of the things that's important to them. So there was, conversations that can come up about eating meat, about being a vegetarian, about being a yoga teacher, whether whether it's right or wrong, you can or you can't. And I think at some point I just got to a point where I felt like what I was doing was becoming such a like combination of many other things. Like, so I was learning so much in the martial arts and bringing that into what I was doing, and also the shamanic arts, the magical arts, ceremonial Amazonian arts as well. Like such a big influence. It wasn't like it was just from India. Like I was just a yoga, like just teaching this one tradition. I was actually teaching like this massive mix, but still kind of using that name, and also doing all this massive mix, and doing all this other stuff that like load of people here be like, no, you can't, you can't do that and be this. So I got to the point where I was like, okay, I won't. I'm an artist. I rebrand myself as an artist, and I am spiritual, and it's a mixture of spirituality, so I call it mixed spiritual arts. So
mixed spiritual arts.
Mixed spiritual arts for me is like a license to be able to do whatever I want, and also
to share your knowledge, because at the end of the day, this is your purpose, to share what you have learned and everything that help you to help others.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and to be able to include basically anything that just has the foundation of being open to spirituality.
Yeah, because obviously there are restrictions. As humans, we label things because we use language to communicate, and we put names to certain things. We kind of, these boxes like that, I'm not going out of here, generally speaking. And when it comes to religion, traditions, culture, it's really difficult to break the walls. People will judge you. So I get what you're saying of, no, yoga is this and that, and you are doing this and that, but this and that, so that doesn't fit into the box.
Yeah,
I get it. Okay.
I feel for like mixed spiritual art, it was more like, it's like you could put all of yoga and then even all of the religions, and then the mixed spiritual arts, MSA just kind of goes like, it's just over everything. Christianity, mixed spiritual art, Islam, Judaism, Buddhism, like painting, cycling, football, ping pong,
life.
painting, singing, dancing, salsa, like whatever the thing. So the only really, like I analyze, the only thing that really I ask or kind of offer is it's like the kind of the line, the filter is spirituality. If someone is not interested in spirituality at all, like is like they just want atheist and nothing is anything other than atheist, then I would say to them like, okay, well, then you're on, if there's a line, you're on that side. Because this is what I do. I'm really into this. And it can express in all these different ways, but it's definitely from that. So if you're not into that, then I don't know how this ain't for you.
Yeah, I have nothing for you, sorry.
But if someone's interested in that, then we can do everything. Yeah.
Okay.
And I will say, like, I'm not a master of any of these things other than like just the ability to be open to many things.
So something just came out while you were saying this. It's not like, because we use this word mastered, and you mentioned before that's a big word.
Yeah.
You can be a seed planter.
Yeah.
So you put the seed on people, and at the end of the day, whatever you teach, it's up to them if they want to practice, or up to the public if they want to practice or not. So you plant the seed, and whatever happens with the seed, it's up to you.
Yeah.
You decide if you water it and let it grow, or you just leave it there to hibernate until you're ready.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I Yeah, I appreciate that a lot, and thank you for doing the work as well. Like, it's good.
Thank you.
It's like I talk for me about me in this case, how I like a lot of things, and I want to put all of those things in one place. And sometimes it seems impossible because people know, but you're doing this, how you gonna do this? If you are that, you cannot be that. But if we open our perspective, we can be anything and everything at the same time.
Yeah.
It obviously you have to look for the way, but there shouldn't be any limitations. But I think it's part of society to give you a name, to put you in a box. But at this point, I think we are deciding, no, I don't want to be in this box. I want to be whatever I feel like doing and being.
But I think so. I think the word artist is like is that one, because really the boxes, there's many boxes that are clear, like lawyer, doctor, you know, whatever, like work in a cafe, like whatever, like those are like very clear. But artist really is.
And then when you try art, like you were lucky to grow up in the environment, and I was looking the other day, watching a podcast about how, okay, this can be a bit conspiranoid, right? But how people that rules the world use art to create the reality they want to create, and they use artists to create that. Who made media? Is an artist, is a person that understands how to film, edit, and put the things in the right way so that they can get this message across you and make you do whatever they want. That is art as well, in a different way. We are doing a video and a podcast and this and that. So
magic.
it's like art is the creation of your own reality. Art is not a painting, it's not a figure, it's not. It's a creation, whatever way you want to put it. Art is in giving birth as a mom, or being a dad, practicing the art of being a dad and exploring it. You don't know how it is until it comes to place. And you, so I was like, that was like during the weekend, this podcast, and I was like, how we have been living in a world designed by other people, using artists to do whatever, and then we don't decide to create our own in whatever way. Like I had this conflict of becoming an artist. I studied to be a dental nurse and I worked on that, and I couldn't feed photography, which is my main art expression, in there until I needed to make photos for my clients, for my patients. And I'm like, this is telling me something. And it was like photography was pulling me. You come this way, until I get rid of being a nurse and I become an artist kind of full time, which is what I dedicate my time the most. But I have this conflict of I cannot be a nurse and I cannot be a photographer at the same time. Yes, I can. Why not? But it's because I have been shaped that way of thinking, no, you cannot, you are not an artist if you don't do X or Y. And being an artist is not a successful thing, but being an artist is creating your life, and you are on that path forever until you finish. So it's so confusing sometimes. Could you share a specific moment or experience that solidified your understanding of art as a reflection of your inner world, like your feelings?
Probably the answer I've used the most is the one I've shared already when I had the inner visions and I began to see the patterns. That was that is like in terms of visual things. Do you express your feelings when you do this work? Do you think this express your feelings? Yeah, I think so.
And how do you, or what do you expect of the other person to look, or this is free interpretation? You know, like when you go to a photography painting, you interpret, you are the artist, right?
Yeah.
What do you expect for people to see, or, you know?
I think there are some aspects of my work where it's about creating a mood and like an environment, an experience that speaks to the unconscious minds. Like an external depiction of an internal experience. That, as I say, like I've had these experiences, outer dimensional experiences that have a feeling of colour and pattern and form and flow and abstraction in these other realms, dimensions, like journeying and having this outer body experience. And then when I create here in this reality, it's like bringing the essence of that, like the freedom, the joy, the beauty, the love, the creativity, the magic, like bringing aspects of that into this reality, which can be very, very different, as we know, like in here, like the 3D and the contrast and the opposites, and the urban landscape can be grey and concrete and pollution and all this stuff. It's like bringing aspects of that joy and beauty, which I've had like abundance, like so many internal experiences of the visions of journeying through this world. So when I create, it's like making a bridge. Sometimes I call it, and I think one of the things said, ask about windows into worlds. It's like scraping a hole through the matrix, like into the spirit world. Like, okay, maybe the person doesn't need to do what I did, you know, have these psychedelic experiences and do these travels and open my third eye, but maybe showing them this can help like stimulate something that's not conscious. It's like speak to the unconscious. Certain ones, excuse me, but like some of the ones here where I have more illustrative, and some ones where I write more as well. That's where more there's like a particular frequency of message or communication that I want to express, like themes that I want to stimulate people to think about life and death and signal and vision and the transformation of like a butterfly, like, you know, a caterpillar into a butterfly, and the inner fire and the journey and sexuality and desire and creativity and all of that, like in one like vision combination that just it's getting people, stimulating them into a certain like feeling or a certain frequency of genre of thought, right? Spiritual. It's like a visual depiction of the things that I lead physically, like the spiritual arts that I lead in ceremonies, but like a way to make an external material
expression.
Expression, a depiction. So yeah, I mean, to answer your question, it can be like an atmosphere, you know. It's just like a feeling that speaks to something deeper than like the conscious mind that we put. Okay, you know, red light means stop, green light means go.
It goes beyond that.
Yeah.
But this is like with abstract art, you can interpret it mentally however you want, but there is messages, subtle messages that just the subconscious mind will understand.
Yeah.
So this is I get the point. How your time living in Barbados changed art? Was there any change while you were living there? Did it impact your work?
Yeah, I mean, I have to give I give credit to one guy who really inspired me. There's an artist out there, local artist, and he was he's a very interesting guy. He's there now. He's still there, and I definitely learned something from him, and I'm still learning. I have a lot more to learn from him. But he made art very simple, but he would have very based around very words, sentences, phrases, statements that he would paint. Sometimes very simply, just one bit of wood, like old bit of palette or some old bit of wood, random bit of wood, you know. He just write just one sentence, but like the power of the sentence, bam, like.
It will hit you.
Hit for me, and I was like, wow,
amazing.
Just so
that's
so strong. Yeah, and the guy's strong guy.
Wow. Okay.
And also very joyful, very his art very full of love and like consciousness, but also like no bullshit, like. Don't fuck. Don't fuck with us. Like he had a very, very strong boundary, but then a big heart. So it was really inspiring because I see, wow, if you you can have a certain environment, because he did a lot of stuff near this like community area where they have a spring, and a lot of people go there to wash in the spring. A lot of people go there to just hang out and relax. And
Where is that?
in Barbados. Oh
Like
yeah,
where
it's called Pori Spring.
Pori Spring,
Shout
okay.
out Pori Spring, anyone watching
Okay.
this in Barbados. But shout out, the artist is called Bang. His
Okay.
name's Bang, yeah, a local guy. But he would write like, put love where hatred is, or something. Like boom, like just like big words. Love is it.
Does he has things around the island?
Just in there.
Just in
Just
that
because he
area.
lives there and he go there and he just sweep it up. It's a community. No one, it's just that everyone looks after it. But he's like wakes up at like, he would be there every morning at 4:30, like super early. Like every time he's like a magician,
Wow.
like mystic magician. So I would try and always wake up early, because for a while I was living really quite close, like 10 minute run. So I wake up early, run down, and he'd already be sweeping. And I say, "Oh, good, you already yeah, you trained already."
Wow.
And then he's sweeping and cleaning and get everything ready. But he'd be painting, and like I say, very simple. But they're like all around this area, like everywhere. These signs that he's made, like a phrase or a quote, like he kind of feel that place, and then I really see, whoa, you can change the feeling, the vibration with this stuff, with these words,
Yes.
because the feeling in the area is very blessed by these blessings.
The energy of his, okay.
So then there's here, no words, no exact message, but then there's also like the power of like, what do you want to say? Like you're like, you got something to say? Will you just write it on something and put it somewhere where people can see it, and they're gonna read it, and they're gonna feel a feeling by what they're reading from what you're saying. And that I say I'm learning from him, because I feel like that's like for me like an evolution. It's like, okay, I can create like a feelings, abstract, unconscious, but then also like what is it? Okay, if I what can I say? What I really want to just say, boom, like direct message. And a lot of
would be the message.
yeah, a lot of the artists that have really inspired me have been clear, have had powerful words to share, political statements about the world, about this, and I think that's even this conversation is, I feel it bringing out of me, because there's so much opportunity there to use this art and then to leverage the pattern and the beauty and the colors to share a message, like what's the happeningness, like what's the happiness, like to spread that through this form. So that's been, in the artistic journey, meeting him, that was definitely like a big inspiration, like in Barbados, because I was all of a sudden just boom, like kind of in this little micro world very often, and I would went there like lots and lots, and yeah.
It makes sense what you say about like those messages change the energy, and our world in general is full of subliminal messages that shape us and shape society. So being able to make a small world within the world and change the vibration of that, and as well, you go, it's like the affirmations. You walk, you have the affirmation in the morning, like for example this morning I had the one that I deserve the best of life, so I go with that affirmation the whole day. If you have this kind of words instead of by the standards of beauty, the whatever, then your mind shape in a different way. So that's really powerful.
Right.
Really powerful.
Yeah, and I found that one other, another thing to say about Barbados is it was like being very separate from the rest of the world. When you're there, it's like a little bubble of this island bubble, because there's so much less external media and influence, like newspapers and marketing and advertising everywhere of like the business of like London is like one of the most, on every bus, stop, on every
bombarding you all the time.
yeah, brands, image, message, buy, politics, war, like all these like flashing up. And you have to do, you know, we get really good, I think, at like just you like kind of accepting and ignoring, you know, like they ain't got time to break down and cry like every time you see the headline about something else that happened.
Exactly, no, you cannot because of that, but that's why
People
it's made
don't.
as well.
Yeah.
So I think like to a certain point we have to find that wall. Okay, I don't want to see this, I'm sorry about that, but I want to keep my vibration as high so that I can spread the same thing, because otherwise you're gonna be one more spreading the bad message. So,
in Barbados, it's kind of way easier because you walk in and there's one newspaper and it says, "We had a great time."
There is party, festival,
The holiday, everyone went to the beach, or like big success on cruise boat.
But something that when I was there, I worked for the first 2 weeks, so I didn't have much time to explore. But the last week, I did what I could. And it's so powerful, the nature in that place, that I was like, how is this possible? This is such a small place, compared to England, for example. But it's so powerful, so powerful. It was really like lighting, so
definitely.
that helps as well, because
really
there is no so much external communication and all of that. Plus nature, that make it all. I think and feel that this could be the end of our conversation.
Okay.
I don't know how you feel about it, but I have the feeling that it's been great.
Yeah, very
Information is amazing. I've learned a lot, and I'm happy to share the conversation that we have, because it's like this is how I want to drive the podcast. I'm starting experimenting, and I'm really happy that you accept the invitation.
Yep. Okay, so my message is around the realization that there is much more happening than we may be consciously aware of and consciously experiencing. And people that know this and have had experiences outside of their personal experience, outer body experiences, spiritual experiences, already know. So if you already know that there's way more than meets the eye, then congratulations. And my invitation to you would be that we're part of a movement that is helping with the spreading of the awakening of the awareness of this, because I feel like this is a really key point in someone's life where they can go from having no idea that there's more going on to having this realization and having a spiritual awakening, having a spiritual experience that can open their minds to just the fact that there is more happening than the limited human local experience. And then, so for anyone who's had it, the invitation is that we are part of a group of people, a community of people that is helping with other people to find it. There were people on my journey who helped me find it, and it's my intention now to help spread it to other people as well. But for anybody as well who's never had anything like this, who maybe cannot understand anything that we're talking about or can't relate in any way, my message to you is that there is more. There is a lot more than the human reality, and we are spiritual beings having human experiences. There is a lot before the birth in the physical, and there's a lot after the last breath in these physical bodies. There's infinite flowing creation and life, and it will transform. The human body is impermanent, but what is within, the spirit and the soul, is eternal.